if you moused over it, basically the whole Google webpage spun, and you could see like the 360-degree angle of the car and the webpage. Like it would flip the webpage around, you could see the back, like the reverse of the webpage, like looking at it from behind. It's kind of cool, but at first it was cool, and then it was just annoying because it would mess up when you're trying to do stuff. But it was kind of cool. But
yeah, today's Heinrich Hertz's 155th birthday.
Oh wow!
On the Google.
Oh, that's what I saw the wave thing. I didn't look to see what it was for though.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
It is interesting. What did he do?
Well, I imagine it's electronics.
Yeah, something to do with frequency. Yeah, something to do with frequency and yeah.
What is it? What is that? What is that? Formula.
Formula 409.
Frequencies.
Cycles per second.
Cycles per second, right?
Yeah, it's the same as the hertz.
The hertz. That's a hertz, right? It's a cycle per second.
Well, it's a hertz because that's his name. I don't think you can change it. It's not really a hertz S. It's hertz Z. So it's a hertz, 1 hertz, 2 hertz. It's plural and singular, I guess.
Right. When you get kicked in the nuts, it hurts.
That's a hertz donut.
That's 2 acres.
That's a hertz donut.
Are you the classic? Are you a farmer?
Oh yeah. Speaking of donuts, I heard a little bird told me an interesting story about you and a jelly donut.
Oh, yeah. They tell you that's my nickname.
A jelly donut.
Yeah.
Now my immediate response or idea if I'd heard that your name was the jelly donut, there's a couple different things that come to mind.
It's not the jelly donut. It's
jelly donut. Yeah. But a couple things come to mind. If first it would be something to do with your size, or maybe a combination of size and a private pile reference.
Maybe. Like rotund. You're saying that I'm rotund?
Yes. Oh no, that would make me think that. But or some reference to the private pile jelly donut in the Foot Locker incident.
Ah, yes, from Full Metal Jacket.
Which I could completely see that happening to you in boot camp.
Boot camp. Oh man, boot camp. It's kind of crazy. Boot camp was it was weird. I mean, it wasn't as miserable as. I mean, I was miserable. I wasn't like one of these guys who were like taking.
Well, we went to boot camp in the early '90s, not during Vietnam too. So it was a little bit different.
Not during Vietnam.
Yeah, not during Vietnam. So
not now. Not now. Where I think you know.
Yeah, you get a come. Yeah, you take a break and.
The drill instructor will dab you down.
Give you a cupcake, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, things were way tougher back in the early '90s, but not nearly as tough probably as in the early '70s.
Yeah, I know. But then you had to take it a little bit more serious because
there actually was a war. Yeah.
There was.
I guess we did have a war going on over in the Gulf, but. No, that was on TV. It wasn't real.
I know. It was like, what?
That's on CNN.
It's on Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's Star Combat on
Combat Atari. Yeah. I want to be the airplanes. No, let's be the tanks.
Yeah, I don't want to be the tank.
Well, I don't want to be the biplanes. At least be the jets.
So so the story is so I think we were talking about nicknames and stuff, and I actually have 2 nicknames. One is Wacko for I don't know,
obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons, but it's more from the fact that I do kind of have different thoughts and ideas than most people on certain subjects that.
No, not you.
Yeah, that would probably get me jailed in like the 1700s or
1960s.
Get me burned at the stake as a witch or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's funny because it's not like they're not well thought out ideas. I'm trying to think of a good example, but
well, that's probably why it would get you jailed because it is so premeditated.
Right. So anyway, so the story with the jelly donut is I have a propensity to dye my hair every so often, and I was
no judgment here, no judgment,
not judging, So I was trying to get it as blonde or as platinum or as white as I could. And
So you're going for the Ric Flair look.
oh yeah,
Woo!
woo, exactly. So actually, I think it was it's kind of ironic that I was actually had to try to get it white so I could make it fire engine red. I wanted my hair to look like one of those anime people, like.
With Jack, I'm very familiar with the anime people, actually.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly, I wanted it standing straight up, flame red, and maybe some orange in between.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of the cool thing as where we work. We wear a helmet most of the time, and I'm not really responsible. I don't have to talk.
Well, you're not a football player, Lenny. It's not really a helmet. It's a hard hat.
That's right. It's a hard hat. I would like to start wearing
a face mask,
hockey helmets.
Oh, the hockey helmets. Now, why?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Well, no, I don't like wearing the hard hat. I don't like wearing anything on my head myself.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think they do you any good. One, because if you get hit by anything, it's going to be big enough that the helmet's not going to help you.
Or it's going to crush your skull.
It's going to crush your skull in, yeah.
And you're going to be, picking your teeth out of your stool. If anything.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you get hit by somebody drops a bolt from up above, but that never happens.
Right, it never happens because
it's something that crushes you completely.
Right. I mean that's the crazy thing. It's the only thing it's ever done is like jam my head into my neck.
Yeah, because you as you walk around without and when you become used to walking around an area without a hard hat, your height is you've like got muscle memory where you know exactly when to duck and how far you have to duck. Now all of a sudden you've got this hard hat on where you're now sitting an inch or two higher and you ram your head into everything. And knocking yourself,
I swear, man. I mean,
so you spend most of the day, the first half of the day walking around, and the second half of the day you're concussed for the remainder of the day. Yeah,
and you're like, who am I?
Yeah, exactly. So it's
right. You start speaking in French.
Yeah, and you bite your tongue because it's going to jam it down. You're going to bite your tongue and cause some sort of other injury, as well as compacting your neck, your spine, and everything down.
That's hurtful. That's painful.
Yeah. Now it does hurt. It does hurt a lot more without the hard hat on when you do that. But you tend not to do it as much. Yeah.
I can only think of one time where I wish I would have had a hard hat on, and I kind of saw stars.
I've done it where I've gone down and I was like, oh my, am I dead?
that's it. That's the one.
That steel does not give at all.
Not at all.
It did not even move.
Yeah, you check your head. Okay, is there blood?
So you always start patting your head and looking for the blood, and then you're looking and there's nothing there. It's like, how did that hurt so bad and not bleed?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're checking for a flat spot,
or the big lump to start developing.
Right. So
and then you got to go back. You got to go back and look at that spot and see if there's any hair or anything else caught in it.
Right. So, so the whole point of this story was the jelly donut, right?
The jelly donut. The nickname jelly donut. Yeah.
Right. My hair's super blonde, and
platinum.
And guys are like, we bring in donuts.
Hitting on you.
What?
Hitting on you.
Yeah. So we bring in donuts and stuff, and everybody shares. Bring donuts or M&Ms or stuff. We put it at the center of the table for everybody to share. Right. Because I live by myself. If I buy like a
dozen, you'll eat a dozen donuts.
Like those sample cheesecakes. Yeah. That whole cheesecake will be eaten by me alone. So I have to. If I buy
alone, I have to bring lonely.
Alone in the dark, crying. Won't somebody stop me?
Watching soap operas.
Exactly. So I take that stuff into work, and got other guys, stop on the way into work and get donuts and stuff. And so my selection for this morning was a jelly donut, and so
delicious.
So when I bit into this donut, it was very flavorful, and it was well stuffed with the good stuff, the jelly.
Good stuff, yeah.
And it squirted everywhere. And I noticed it squirted on the floor, and I'm like, I gotta clean that up. And and so later on, I'm out walking and doing my job, and somebody sees me and says, "Hey, you saving that that jelly for later. And I look at my shirt, and it's all running down my shirt. I got a big glob on it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I I do what somebody would normally do is you just lick it off. You take your shirt and you bring it up to your mouth and you eat it, and you're good, right? So later on that day, I talked to my boss, and he asked me, well, what's that? Because it kind of looks like blood. He said, is that blood or something? And is that blood or something? Because, at that time, I'd been doing a lot of MMA stuff, so I'd been coming in with, black eyes and stuff and busted lips. And they would say, is that your blood? And you'd say, some of it is. Some of it. And so I didn't want to lie. So he said, hey, what is that? And I said, well, it's either a red pen busted in my shirt or it's a jelly donut. And so, you don't want to lie, right? So you give them the option. So, anyways, next day, fast forward next day.
Back up a little bit. You told him it was a jelly donut. Did he have any?
No, I didn't say it was a jelly donut. I left
but he just was okay with that, the open-ended question.
Yeah. Okay. He's either
okay.
Either a slob works for me, or he busted his red pen on his shirt.
Okay. So,
it was at my pocket where it would have been.
Where you'd hold your jelly donut.
Or it's where I stick my jelly donut in my pocket of my shirt or my red pen. So so anyways, next day, so when you dye your hair, you don't want to wash it every day. You want to get the natural juices or oils back into your scalp, because when you dye your hair, you kind of burn it up a little bit.
I wouldn't know.
Really bad. You wouldn't know. But but anyway, so I didn't wash my hair that day. I came into work, and I was sitting there at the computer with a hat on, right? And I take my hat off and scratch my head, and the guys start looking at me, and they're like, they look and they're like, "Are you bleeding?" I said, "What? Am I bleeding?" And it's just your head. And they're like, there's jelly donut in my hair. And somehow this doesn't surprise me in the least, Lenny. Yeah, and I tell you what, that must have been like an IED donut. That thing must have blown up. And
did you eat it properly? Did you when you take the first bite of a jelly donut, there's a certain method.
You go 10 and 2.
There's an entry point, right?
Or 3 and 9, pinkies out.
Yeah, but what was your entry point?
I don't know. I usually go into where the hole is.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you should go.
But right, there must have been something weak. There's some sort of
a defect,
structural integrity issue there.
You had a pre-existing flaw in the donut itself.
Exactly. So that's why I am often called Jelly Donut. If somebody yells, "Hey, Jelly Donut!"
Now, how long ago did that happen?
Oh, we're going on a good 2 or 3 years ago. So
it's still sticking. That's nice. That's a good one. Yeah. Now, some guys probably call you Jelly Donut and don't even know why, right?
Yeah. They just assume because
the name's there and he doesn't know why.
Fat slob or something.
That's funny. Funny stuff.
That's the behind the scenes true story of Lenny Jelly Donut. Boy. I like going with Wacko. Wacko seems to stick easier,
Mm-hmm. And when you had the jelly donut in your hair,
mm-hmm.
did you play it off like you meant to put it in your hair, or were you too surprised that it was there? Were you able to laugh it off, or was it just total embarrassment?
Well, I think most people knew that I was covered in jelly donut earlier the previous day, and it wasn't too big of a leap, and I just accepted it for what it was. That's I'm a disgusting human being. I don't wash my hair, and I really have poor table manners.
I'm just wondering, how did you actually get it in your hair?
That I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it got in my hair.
Did you ever think maybe this was like some big practical joke on you, that where they overfilled the jelly donut with jelly and it totally set you up to...
They lined my
Hard out with jelly donut.
Jelly donut. I would think that